She was the woman everyone adored. Elegant, witty, magnetic Kay Kendall seemed to dance through life with effortless charm. On screens across Britain and America, her laughter was contagious, her presence electric. But beneath the lights, something far more fragile was quietly unfolding. As crowds clapped and cameras captured her brilliance, a secret deeper than any script was being kept not by the press, not by strangers, but by those closest to her. A secret she was never allowed to know. What do you call it when the truth is hidden not to harm, but to protect? Who decides when someone is ready to hear that their story is ending? And what happens when a star dies believing she still had time before the tragedy? There was triumph. Kay Kendall rose from modest beginnings to become one of Britain's most radiant film stars. Born into a family of entertainers, her early life was marked by music and movement, but it was the silver screen that ultimately claimed her. She stumbled at first. Small roles, forgettable appearances. But then came Genevieve, a film that didn't just change her career, it transformed her life. Audiences fell in love. The press couldn't get enough. Offers flooded in from Hollywood, placing her among the rare British talents to break through both at home and abroad. Her fame became a spectacle. Magazine covers glamorous premieres, whirlwind productions. She was the woman of the hour, a dazzling combination of beauty, humor, and natural elegance. But while the world celebrated, time was slipping. Beneath the applause, something silent had already begun to take root. Long before the glamour, there was a tall, shy girl who dreamed in music, not movies. Kay Kendall, born into a family of vaudeville performers, was no stranger to the stage, but she never imagined the screen would one day make her unforgettable. Her early life was a patchwork of movement, shifting homes, shifting schools, a shifting sense of self. She trained as a musician. The cello was her first love, and for a time it seemed like her future. But when money ran short and doors began to close, she stepped toward acting cautiously, reluctantly, without knowing that her life was about to change. The road wasn't kind at first. She was overlooked, typecast, dismissed. Her beauty got her noticed, but rarely respected. She nearly gave it up. And then, in a moment no one could have predicted, Genevieve happened. She wasn't the lead on paper, but she stole the film. The timing, the mischief, the light in her eyes, suddenly Britain was paying attention. That performance didn't just introduce her to the world, it introduced her to herself. Fame gave Kay Kendall everything she thought she wanted and quietly took from her the things she didn't realize she needed. She became a fixture on magazine covers, a guest at every glittering event, a symbol of effortless elegance. But the whirlwind came with a weight. With each role, each red carpet, the demands grew heavier. She belonged to the public now, always composed, always performing. In private, cracks were beginning to show. She was often tired, more than tired. Her energy waned in ways she couldn't explain. Yet she pushed through, determined not to fall behind. The show had to go on. It always had to go on. And at the center of it all was Rex Harrison, charming, commanding, fiercely protective. Their romance fascinated the press, but few knew the depth of control he quietly held. When Kay's health began to raise concern, it was Rex who stepped in. Doctors spoke to him. He chose what Kay would and wouldn't hear. He said it was to protect her. She believed she was safe in love. She didn't know that love had already made a choice for her, one she could never take back. She fainted once during filming. Then again, a few weeks later, her skin bruised easily. Her steps grew slower. Friends noticed, but Kay brushed it off. Exhaustion, nerves a cold that wouldn't quit. She kept working, kept laughing. No one had the heart to tell her what the doctors had already confirmed: leukemia. The word was never spoken to her. Rex Harrison, fearing it would destroy her spirit, took control of every diagnosis, every report. He made a choice that she would never know. So Kay continued living as though she had years ahead. She smiled for photographers, learned her lines, made plans. She asked no questions because she had no reason to. The man she trusted most assured her it was all under control. But the truth was gaining on her. By the time her body began to give out, it was too late to prepare, too late to say goodbye, too late to understand what was happening. Her final months were lived in a dream, one stitched together by affection, fear, and silence. And when she died, she still believed she would recover. In the final chapter of her life, Kay Kendall still carried herself like a star. Even as her body weakened, she greeted visitors with warmth, told jokes to lift the mood, and insisted she would soon be back on set. She believed it. Everyone around her allowed that belief to breathe a little longer. Rex Harrison was there, attentive, composed, unwavering. He made sure the truth stayed hidden, choosing gentle lies over painful clarity. Doctors complied. Friends fell in line. And Kay, always trusting, saw no reason to doubt them. She made plans for the future, asked for new scripts, wondered if she might take a holiday. And then on a quiet September day in 1959, she slipped away without fanfare, without fear, without knowing. When news of her death broke, the public mourned. But what followed was confusion and then controversy. She hadn't known why, who decided that for her. Some called it a final kindness, others a devastating silence. But no one could change the ending. She left this world unaware she was saying goodbye. Kay Kendall never had the chance to reflect on her legacy, but the world has done so for her. Though her career was brief, it left a mark that still lingers in shadows and quiet tributes. She wasn't the kind of star who demanded attention. She earned it with grace, timing, and a lightness that never felt forced. Her name may not be the first mentioned among classic icons, but those who remember her speak with something deeper than admiration. They speak with affection, with reverence for a talent that was just beginning to unfold. Young actors still discover her through old reels. Historians revisit her performances with awe, and those who know the full story carry the weight of her silence and the questions it left behind. She didn't get to choose her ending, but the world remembers the way she lived: luminous, generous, unforgettable. She vanished before she could truly take flight, and maybe that's why she still haunts us, because we never got to see how high she could go.